welcome back to another episode of Into the 99, where we've got 99 cards, because Commander's number one. I'm one of your hosts, Daniel. I've got Slothy with me today. Slothy, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing pretty well, thanks. How about yourself?
I'm doing really good. I always forget to open my drink, so again, sorry to everyone if this makes a loud sound. But yeah, no, pretty good week so far. We've been doing lots of streaming, like I was saying. We had some new content coming out. So we ran our first of the test streams on this Friday. It was really, really fun. So those videos will be going up on YouTube later tonight. It's a really good time. So check it out when we are streaming. Check out the YouTube stuff. We're going to be putting lots of games up there and also some live in-person episodes. We're all in kind of the same area. So we'll do a little more of the YouTube side as well. Nothing will change on the podcast side. We'll still keep podcasting for everyone, but yeah. So without further ado, I wanted to get into this deck really quickly today because this is one of the ones that I think both of us really, really liked right off the get-go when spoilers were announced. And like you said, you were never a token player before we've converted you.
Oh, no, I was always a token player.
Oh, you're always a token player. Okay.
It was lands that I was never.
Okay. So, talk about this token deck then. Who's this new commander and why do we love it?
So this is King Darien the 47th. He is 1, a green and a white for a 2/3 legendary human soldier. Other creatures you control get +1/+1, and you can pay 3 green and white to put a 1/1 counter on King Darien and create a 1/1 white soldier creature token. And you can sacrifice King Darien to have creature tokens you control gain hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. So really, really awesome token commander. Really, really awesome token card in the 99 too. Just being able to protect everything on a whim.
It does so much. It's an anthem. It has the power to buff itself up. If you if you have like a big, your everything I know goes infinite with Devoted Druid, but you could Devoted Druid combo an infinite mana to make infinite tokens on it, infinite tokens on it, infinite counters on it. Like Darien gets bigger.
Yep.
I love a mana sink from the command zone. That's great.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's plenty of ways in this deck to make tons and tons of mana.
Yeah, well, like I said, I love that. I also really, really like token themes, like 1/1 themes, counter swing. But just like you said, the ability to make your creature tokens you control hexproof and indestructible, that's a big problem.
Yep. Yeah, that gets out of hand really, really quickly, especially because a lot of these, every one of these creatures is going to be a lot bigger than the 2/2 that they would be with King Darien out. Well,
like I said, just it's the fact that it's an anthem alone on a 3-drop commander is great.
Yeah, definitely.
And I love soldiers.
Yeah.
They've I think they really knocked it out of the park with a lot of these. I think this is one of the remake ones. Because I think there was an old King Darien.
So. Let's see real quick.
Yeah, I think it's one of the Legends reimagined. But like I said, I think that this commander brings just a ton of versatility. And I personally know that I would Helm of the Host this commander nonstop.
Yeah.
So I can keep my things going. But I also see, first off, selesnya is the best token colors, right? When you add the red in, you get a little bit more utility, but it kind of makes it harder to focus up. A 2-color selesnya token has always been the king of tokens, in my opinion. I could be wrong. There could be better ones, but it's just what I've always thought.
I definitely agree. I think every great token commander, aside from Ginny Fey, has been selesnya colors.
Yeah, or had them in it. Like I said, I would use Helm of the Host. You don't have Helm of the Host in your list, but I would also have a giant problem cutting down a list like this. There's so many things I would want to put in this deck.
Yeah, I had, up until yesterday, I had at least 110 cards in this deck. I just started adding everything I thought would be good. Then I looked, I was like,
this is too many.
Oh crap, this is 150 cards right now. What?
Yeah, right. So I definitely see how it could get out of hand. Where do you want to start with this? Oh, did you see if it was a Legends remastered?
I could not find anything.
Okay, it might not be. I thought it was. Let's start in do you have any lands that are important?
Yes, I do.
All right.
So there's 32 lands. I'll only talk about the important ones. I got Castle Ardenvale. Helps you create 1/1 human creature tokens. Gavany Township, which I think is a powerhouse card in any token deck. Taps for a colorless, or you can pay 2 green and a white, tap it to put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Yeah, other than that, the land base is pretty straightforward. It's got a Yavimaya, Cradle of Growth, Wooded Bastion for filtering, Temple Garden, Sunpillow Grove. Yeah, pretty straightforward. But do you want to jump into the artifacts first?
Yeah, sure. I really liked that's where I was first looking. So you've got Eldrazi Monument, a card that's so good in every token deck. It's 5 colorless. Creatures you control get 1/1 and have flying and indestructible. At the beginning of your upkeep, you sack a creature. If you can't, you sack it. That's not a very big deal.
No, not at all. Then we've got, I'm sure I mentioned it in a previous episode, but one of my favorite win cons to come out of this year, Halo Fountain, 2 and a white. You can tap a white and tap it to untap a tapped creature you control and create a 1/1 green and white citizen creature token. You can pay double white and tap it to untap 2 tapped creatures you control and draw a card. Or you can pay 5 white and tap it to untap 15 tapped creatures you control and you win the game.
I really, really like this one.
Yeah, this one, it's a powerhouse in decks like this, and it's so easy.
Having a you win on the board is very nice because this doesn't come in tapped. If you have the mana available and there's no counter for it, you can just win, right? The trigger's on the stack.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unless you have a play group of monsters running stuff like Stifle. Yeah, a lot of times you are gonna win.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I really like this, but also just for its 1 mana to tap and create a tapped creature you control, or and a tapped creature you control making a token is great.
Yeah, it's great utility on this one. Also helps you just draw a card if you need to.
True.
Which White has had a little bit of problems with in the past. But
yeah, card draw never hurts. The next one I also really, really like, Horn of Valhalla. It's 1 and a white for an equipment. It has, I'm going to say Ysgur's Call. I don't know.
Eastguard.
Eastguard, yeah. I'm going to take your word for it. X double white. It's a sorcery adventure. You create X 1/1 white soldier tokens, which is awesome, and then you exile it and you can cast it for the artifact later. And that equipped creature gets 1/1 for each creature you control. With an equip 3. I think that's a really, really good card. Power buff your commander. Also a great mana sink to make lots of tokens. I like it.
Yeah, definitely. Then we've got Lightning Greaves. 2 mana, equipped creature has haste and shroud and equipped for 0.
I never protect my commander. I should start.
Well, this isn't to protect the commander.
Oh, something else. All right.
Something else.
We've got Scepter of Celebration, one I've never seen in a deck. 2 and a green. Adds an equipment. Equipped creature gets 2/0 and trample. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, create that many 1/1 green and white citizen creature tokens. That's awesome. With equip for 3.
Yeah, I really enjoy this one. It can just go. It's silly.
That would be really, really good in my Town of the Bloodsower deck. I would like it in that one.
Yeah. Next up, we got Selesnya Signet. 2 mana, pay 1, tap it to add green white to your mana pool.
Yeah. In any token deck, you're going to want to run something like this. Your commander kind of makes it a little harder to use, but I still like it. It's the Skull Clamp. 1 colorless, equipped creature gets +1/-1. Whenever equipped creature dies, you draw 2 cards with an equip of 1. I still really like it, but...
Yeah, Darien definitely makes it harder to use, but still.
Well, it just also makes it so that you have a blocker that you can commit to dying. It's a really good threat that way. It's still, then you have a 2/1 blocker that, like, if you swing it, I will block it and get 2 card draw. Do you want to make that trade?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You also you got Soul Ring because, of course.
Yeah, obviously.
And then I'll let you take the next 2 here.
Yeah. So this next one is Swift of Boots. 2 mana, equipped creature has hexproof and haste, and it's got equipped for 1. And then you've got Throne of the God Pharaoh. 2 mana legendary artifact. At the beginning of your end step, each opponent loses life equal to the number of tapped creatures you control. You're going to be swinging quite a bit in this deck. And it also kind of makes it so that you really only have to fully focus on one person for a lot of it with your attacking. Because if you deal 40 damage to one of them, tap 40 creatures, each opponent's going to lose 40 life anyway.
Yeah. I've seen this used in a really interesting way. The most interesting way I've seen Throne of the God Pharaoh used was someone was playing a Crewfix Turbo Fog kind of deck
Okay.
that really, really stockpiled mana, and they power dumped a bunch of that mana into like an Insect Queen, made a ton of creatures, and I had a bigger board state. So they swung all of their creatures at me, and I was like, okay, I'll just kill them, and your throne won't work, and they fogged. So no combat damage went through. I couldn't kill any of their creatures, and we died to the tapped creatures.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a fun way to see Throne of the God Pharaoh used. I really liked it. But in a token deck like this, it's a 2-mana. It's 2-mana like MVP card in a deck that the field's full of. Like anyone who's seen this hit the field in like a Krenko deck or something knows how monstrous this card gets.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's all of the artifacts. Do you want to jump into the enchantments next?
Sure. I liked your enchantment section a lot from what I started seeing. First and foremost, Anointed Procession. 3 and a white. If an effect would create 1 or more tokens under control, it creates twice that many. It's tokens. You gotta have it if you got it.
Absolutely.
The token section is how to slim this deck price down if you want.
Yeah. Then next up, we've got Beastmaster Ascension. 2 and a green. Whenever a creature you control attacks, you may put a quest counter on Beastmaster Ascension, and as long as Beastmaster has 7 or more quest counters on it, creatures you control get +5/+5. Yeah,
that would be a very big problem. A very, very big problem with your tokens. You also have... go ahead.
I don't think it'd be that big of a problem.
Oh, it's always a problem, especially you already have another Anthem from the command zone, so Darien's going to be a 7/8. Your tokens are going to be 7/7s. That's a problem. Yeah. A very big problem too, especially for the fact that it can go live so quickly, right? Like all of those trigger. You have 10 tokens out. You've got 10 2/2s, boohoo, 20 damage. Those turn into 10 7/7s, 70 damage. Very, very big difference in the math of what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've also got Cather's Crusade, another, like, I love for 1/1 counters theme. 3 double white. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under control, you put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. Yep. That's going to do work.
Then we've got Cryptolith Rite, 1 and a green. Creatures you control have tapped to add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool.
Yeah. Very nice as well with the, like I said, the mana sink from the command zone.
Yeah.
It just makes it grow and grow and grow.
Yeah.
Yeah, this next one, obviously, yep. You've got Doubling Season, 4 and a white. It's an enchantment. If an effect would create 1 or more tokens under your control, it creates that twice that many. It creates twice that many of those tokens instead. I can't read today. If an effect would put 1 or more counters on a permanent you control, it puts twice that many on instead. This is a very big problem in this deck, because then for 5 mana you're making 4 power of creatures and buffing Darien by 2.
Yeah.
That's
this is an absolute...
you're putting a lot of problems onto the board that way.
Yeah. Yeah, this is an absolute MVP card. It just works with everything this commander is doing.
There's my one, I missed a suggestion in the artifacts thing, is I would run Illusionist Bracers too, just to double up that, but I think it might make Darien too much of a removal target already.
Yeah.
And I think Darien's better served the way that you're running him right now, as like he's going to make tokens, he's an Anthem, but he's keeping your tokens alive.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that card.
Then next up we've got Felidar Retreat, 3 and a white. It's got landfall. Whenever land enters the battlefield under your control, choose 1. Create a 2/2 white cat beast creature token, or put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control, and they gain vigilance until end of turn.
Yeah, it's gross.
Yeah.
It's token generation, it's counter generation, and it's gross. This next one is where the actual it's gross comment came from, and that's Glare of Subdual. It's 2, 1 green, 1 white. You tap an untapped creature control, tap target artifact or creature. This is one of the grossest cards I've ever seen in Magic. Like, played in a hard token deck, it's rough.
Yeah, this is for all those times where you don't have vigilance or anything and you just need to stop people from cracking back at you.
I see a lot of... I don't play these kinds of Magics anymore, but I did see decks that used to make like tons of tokens, and then run like a living plane to turn all lands into creatures. And then they would just tap down everyone's lands in every untapped step, like Seedborn untapped mechanics. It's really gross stuff. Glare of Subdual is a problem. It shuts Voltron decks down entirely as well.
Yeah.
It's gross. It also, interestingly enough, does serve as the way for you to just Halo Fountain win too.
Yeah, that's true. Because then you could just...
Yeah, because you have to... Yeah. You need your creatures to be tapped, right?
Yeah. I didn't even think about that.
Oh yeah, Glare of Subdual definitely puts in a bunch of work with it, because then you can use it as like a really nice interaction. Is like, let's say that I'm playing something that's like a Shorakai deck, where I'm trying to use my vehicles to untap stuff. It's the big 8/8, or I'm doing like a Galea, something of that manner.
Yeah.
You just two untapped creatures, tap my stuff down so I can't attack with like big things, or I'm playing like a Ulamog, like I'm trying to exile 20 cards of your library on attack. You just tap me down and then you use an untap to draw cards.
Yeah.
Or win the game. It's gross.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it with Halo Fountain. Yeah,
Glare of Subdual and Halo Fountain are awesome, because it gives you that it gives you that just immediate way to take things off the board. But then you can just, if you have the mana, like let's say you have Glare of Subdual out, I'm going to tap 15 creatures or whatever, right? Because there's nothing saying you can't tap the same thing over and over.
Yeah.
And then again, your play group's tapped out, you drop Halo Fountain down, and you know that you've got 5 white mana after, you win the game after that.
Yeah, true.
Because that untap is part of the cost, so changing it isn't going to do anything. And then you win the game is on the stack. They're going to have to, again, Stifle or Angel's Grace, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Glare of Subdual is a really, really cool include with this, just on its face, but that interaction with the Halo Fountain is pretty disgusting stuff. I like it.
Yeah. Next up, we've got Inspiring Leader. 2 and a white for legendary enchantment background. Commander creatures you own have creature tokens you control get +2/+2.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Intangible Virtue. Oh, you got a lot of anthems. I really, really like this. The Darien anthems. Intangible Virtue is the 1 and the white creature tokens you control get 1/1 in vigilance.
Yeah.
Again, just with those out, like your tokens are 5/5s.
Yeah.
That's big. That's big. It does make soldiers. I probably will make this a soldier themed one too, as well as just a turbo ramp deck. Like I could see myself running multiple King Darien decks.
Yeah, actually, I don't know if I mentioned, but nearly every, or a lot of the ways to make tokens are with soldiers.
Okay, yeah.
In this, so it's quite
themed.
Yeah, soldier themed.
Nice. Well, I'm loving this list. Like the enchantment section's great. I like the artifacts a lot. Like I think the hardest part about making a deck similar to this would be cutting cards down. Like there's so many things I would want to run in it. Like I really like this one, the Mirari's Wake. The 3 a green, a white creatures you control get 1/1. Another anthem. When you tap a land for mana, add 1 mana to your mana pool of any type it produced. That it's doing everything you want.
Yeah. This is another phenomenal card in any deck, but especially token decks.
I always love the art on Mirari's Wake too.
Yeah, it's quite pretty.
Yeah, it's just a nice card. It's just nice looking.
Speaking of nice looking, next up we've got Parallel Lives. 3 and a green. If an effect would put 1 or more tokens onto the battlefield under your control, it puts twice that many tokens onto the battlefield instead.
Yeah. I got no problems with that one. This one is a really, really interesting card as well. The next one on your list here, I've really enjoyed it, and I've been running it more and more in decks lately. It's Rabble Rousing. It's 4 colorless, 1 green. It has Hideaway 5. When it enters, look at the top 5 cards, put 1 face down in random order, blah, blah, blah. Hideaway, you get it. But whenever you attack with 1 or more creatures, you create that many 1 green and white citizen tokens. Then if you control 10 or more creatures, you can play the exiled card with pen its mana cost. I don't really use this for the Hideaway thing.
No, not at all.
Although that being said, in this style of deck, you'll probably be able to get the Hideaway. And if you look at the top 5, you might hit something pretty good, like you're doubling seasons or you're,
Yeah.
But it's just going to generate a lot of tokens. And I like that they're not tapped and attacking. So even if I wipe your tokens out, you just replace them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you swing with 10 2/2s, blow some of my blockers off the field, have 10 2/2s again.
Yeah, seems pretty good to me.
Yeah. There's always the threat, too, of you throwing Darien away and making them indestructible. The indestructible is a real big problem.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, like I said, if you throw a bunch of big stuff at me, you might be thinking, like, at least I can thin his tokens out, and then being indestructible and losing your field. Like, Darien does offer just a ton of utility.
Yeah, and I think that kind of takes away the removal magnet aspect of him a little bit. Just because in response, you can just sacrifice and give all your stuff hexproof indestructible.
Yeah,
and there's so many ways.
Yourself.
Yeah, there's so many ways to have all your creatures tap for mana that you'll just cast them again anyway.
True. Yeah.
Yeah, where should we go next?
Let's do your sorceries.
Sure. Yeah, so first up we've got Cultivate, 2 in the green, search library for 2 basic lands. Reveal them, put one on the battlefield tapped and the other into your hand.
I say it every week. I love Cultivate. I build with a lot of Cultivates.
That's such a good card.
Yeah, I've got hundreds of dollars of Cultivate if they're $1. Too many. We've got Farseek as well. Search the library for plains, island, swamp, or mountain. Put on the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. It's going to fetch your duels for you.
Yep. We've got Finale of Devastation. X double green. Search your library and or graveyard for a creature card with mana value X or less. Put it on the battlefield. If you search the library this way, shuffle it. If X is 10 or more, creatures you control get +X/+X and gain haste until end of turn.
Yeah. I always have trouble finding this card, but this card really puts work in. Absolutely,
yeah. This is such a phenomenal card.
Yeah. The other thing is if X is 10 or more, they get XX and haste. 10/10 and haste is quite the problem.
Yeah. And that's on top of probably what you're searching for in this deck.
Right. You also have Finale of Glory, which is one of my favorite cards in Magic. I love all the finales that were printed. All the finales are great, but Finale of Glory is bar none one of my favorite ones. It's X double white. You create X 2/2 white soldier creature tokens of vigilance. Awesome. If X is 10 or more, you also create X 4/4 white angels with flying and vigilance. Oh, this card puts in tons of work.
Absolutely. And yeah, chances are it's going to be more than 10. So
yeah, we were playing a game when my girlfriend was learning Magic. We were playing a game and she got this off. Finally had the mana for it, and it got countered with Brian countered it, and she's like, "All right, well, I'm gonna kill you," and then swung out like 180 Jetmir damage at him.
Nice.
But yeah, it's definitely one you do want to counter if you can. Although you are going to make that player mad because it's fun. It's really nice to get off.
Yeah.
I love Finale of Glory. It's such a... I need to find a bunch of foils of it.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
How much is that foil?
Can't be that much.
No, let's see. That's like $7.
Yeah, it's definitely not a problem.
No.
I got to find a bunch. You also have Harmonize. I'll take that one too. The 2 double green, draw 3 cards. I like it.
Yeah.
You need draw in these colors.
Definitely. Then we've got Harvest Season, 2 in a green. Search the library for up to X basic land cards, where X is the number of tapped creatures you control. Put them on the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle.
Yeah. It's, again, another one that's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
You also have Hour of Reckoning, which is so easy to get off in this deck.
Yeah, I love this card so much in Token decks.
Well, and it's so problematic because of its Convoke thing. If it didn't have Convoke, it would still be good. But it's the 4 triple white with Convoke. Your creatures can help cast it by tapping them, and it's for 1 colorless or 1 mana of that creature's color. So again, no problem to cast this 7 mana thing. Destroy all non-token creatures, and it's going to put you in such a dominant position if you get it off like this.
And if you notice, the soldiers that King Darien makes are white.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean. There's no problem to get this off.
Then next up is Kodama's Reach. 2 in the green, search library 2 basic land cards, reveal them, put 1 onto the battlefield tapped, the other into your hand, and then shuffle.
I like your ramp section. You've also got Migration Path, one you don't see very often. 3 and a green, search your library for up to 2 basic lands, put them onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Just explosive vegetation's great upgrade because it has cycling for 2.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just a strictly better explosive vegetation in every way.
Yeah.
I always forget about it.
Then we got Rampant Growth, 1 and a green, search library for basic land card, put it on the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle.
I've never seen this artwork of the next card. That's really cool.
Yeah. It's from one of the Universe Beyond Secret Lairs.
Oh, okay. It's Battle Royale, which is Triumph of the Hordes, which is a very big problem. Game-ending card generally. 2 double green. Until end of turn, creatures you control get 1/1 and gain Trample and Infect. That's a problem.
Yeah, with this card, I was having a little bit of a hard time deciding whether I cut Triumph of the Hordes or Overrun.
Oh, Triumph of the Hordes with how many creatures you've got makes just sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm keeping Triumph of the Hordes because way easier to kill everybody with that.
Yeah, you only need 10 damage instead of, what is it, 140?
40. Well, yeah.
Yeah, 30 versus 120. I'll take the 30.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's jump on over to the instants. First instant we've got is Akroma's Will, 3 and a white. Choose 1. If you control a commander as you cast a spell, you may choose both. Creatures you control gain Flying, Vigilance, and Double Strike until end of turn, or creatures you control gain Lifelink, Indestructible, and Protection from all colors until end of turn.
Yeah, that's good. That's good, yep. Protection from all colors is real problematic. Mm-hmm. Double Strike, Flying, Vigilance, problematic. Yeah, all that's good. I hate this card.
What? That's not very nice.
No, it's because Brian slaps... he has a keyword soup deck that's like Akroma Kodama.
Yeah.
Akroma Dama, and yeah, it's a real big problem.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I can never find that Akroma anywhere. I want to make a deck like that. But yeah, no, Akroma's Will is just a real powerful inclusion in this deck.
I think I've got a couple of those, actually.
The partner one?
Yeah,
oh, definitely,
I think so.
Definitely bring me one if you have one.
I will.
Also, this is beautiful artwork. I don't know what this one's from, but it's beautiful artwork. It's your Aura Mutation. 1 green, 1 white. Destroy target enchantment. You create X 1/1 green saplings, where X is that enchantment's mana value. I don't know what art this is, but it's really, really nice.
That art was from... Oh, it's new. For the new Capenna Commander decks.
That's very cool. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I don't even know what deck that would have been in the new Capenna stuff. Probably the Ginny Fey one, now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Not the Ginny Fey, but you know what I mean.
Sure. Yeah.
You get it.
Next up, we got Court of Calling, X triple green. It's also got Convoke. Search your library for a creature card with mana value X or less and put it onto the battlefield, and then shuffle your library.
Yeah. Again, these Convoke things are nothing in a token deck.
Yeah, no, it's so easy to just get one of your 7 or 8 mana creatures for free.
Yeah. I also like this one, your Flawless Maneuver. This is, I think, the weakest of this cycle, this or the Fog one, but they're still pretty good. Mm-hmm. Some people say the Otrimi one, the black one. I think Free Exile is pretty strong.
Yeah, Free Exile is not too bad.
Yeah, it's 2 and a white if you don't control your commander, or free if you control your commander. Creatures you control gain Indestructible until end of turn. That's very hard to threat assess around.
Mm-hmm.
I think, okay, well, I've finally removed Darien. I'm going to cast my board wipe now. But I guess if I'm removing Darien, I'm just going to sack him anyways, and they are going to be indestructible no matter what.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Next up, we got Generous Gift, 2 and a white. Destroy target permanent. Its controller creates a 3/3 green elephant.
Yeah.
Yeah, plain and simple.
Generous Gifts is great removal. I'm just looking at the next one, and they really have printed just some phenomenal cards lately. New Capenna had great stuff.
Yeah, I really, really enjoyed that set.
Yeah, Grand Crescendo is the next one on your list. It's X double white. You create X 1/1 green and white citizen creature tokens. Creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. That's awesome.
Yeah.
The again, just better utility than your normal token generating instance. It lets you throw blockers in. You've got tons of mana generation. I like this card.
Yeah, and this one makes it so you don't have to
throw Darien.
Yeah, throw Darien, because Darien is also only tokens, so being able to protect everything is nice.
Yeah.
Speaking of protecting everything, next up we got Heroic Intervention. 1 green permanents you control gain hexproof and indestructible until end of turn.
I like that.
Yeah.
This whole section, is this down to 79 cents? That's awesome.
Yeah.
March of the Multitudes is the next one. X, 1 green, double white. Instant with Convoke again, which is super awesome in a deck like this. Create X, 1/1 white soldiers with lifelink. That's killer in this deck.
Yeah, I love this one.
Yeah, that's a very, very cool one. I like all of your instant sections so far. It's really nice.
Thank you. The next up, we got Path to Exile. Single white, exile target creatures. Controller may search the library for basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle.
Yeah.
It's a real nice Blightsteel you've got there. How'd you like a forest instead?
True. Blightsteel Forest.
Yeah.
You also have Second Harvest, which is super good in token decks. I've been saying a lot of these are good, but I like token decks, so sue me.
Yeah.
Second Harvest is 2 double green. For each token you control, you create a token that's a copy of that permanent. A very, very good instant speed problem.
Mm-hmm. Then we've got Secure the Waste. X and a white. Put X 1/1 white warrior creature tokens onto the battlefield.
Yeah. You've got a lot of great token generation at instant speed, so it's really hard to, again, threat assess against that.
Yeah.
I think finally everything's dead, and then no, it's not.
Exactly.
It's pretty good, yeah. You also have Silence to make people no spells. 1 white, your opponents can't cast spells this turn.
Yeah, this is one that I kind of threw in here for when I'm playing the Finale of Glory or the Finale of Devastation, just so that it can't be countered.
That's smart. Because they are counter targets. Like, I know that I say, like, oh no, it would make me so mad if you countered it, but it would be really dumb to not counter it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if somebody's playing a Finale of Devastation in a token deck, there's certain creatures you know they're going to be looking for.
Yeah.
So it's just, an absolute like token or not token, counter magnet.
Yeah. I like it. And then you've got you take this next one.
Sure. And then we got Swords to Plowshares. Single white, exile target creatures control gains life equal to its power.
I meant both the next ones, but yes. Very good removal.
Yeah. Then we've got Fairy's Protection. 2 and a white. Until your next turn, your life total can't change and you gain protection from everything. All permanents you control phase out. And then exile Fairy's Protection.
Yeah. I like killing people through Teferi's Protection. It's my favorite thing.
That's fair, yeah.
It's always a very interesting way to make people go bye-bye.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. It's just always fun. I like this whole segment you've got going on so far. I'm excited to see your creatures. I think it's the biggest section of the deck.
Yeah. Why don't you take this first one here?
So we've got Ancient Gold Dragon. 5 colorless, double white, Elder Dragon, 7/10 flying. Weird stats. But a 7/10 at 7 mana is great.
Yeah.
When it deals combat damage to a player, roll a d20. You create a number of 1/1 blue fairy dragon creature tokens with flying equal to the result. That's a problem. I understand why these dragons are expensive.
Yeah. Yeah, I really, really like this one.
I hope they come down in price because I'd like to play them. I don't like it enough for $20. But if I had opened a bunch of these, I would play them.
Yeah, that's fair.
I just didn't, and like I said, I don't know.
Yeah.
Although it is fun, it's too random for me to spend $20 on. That's my problem.
Yeah.
But the fact that for 7 mana, you can have, like, 1 turn away a 7/10 flyer that can potentially make you 21/1s with your commander, that's their 22 2s. It's worth it.
Yeah, I think so.
It's pretty good, yeah.
Then we've got Avenger Zendikar, 5 double green for a 5/5 elemental. When Avenger Zendikar enters the battlefield, create a 0/1 green plant creature token for each land you control, and it's got landfall. Whenever land enters the battlefield under your control, you may put a +1/+1 counter on each plant creature you control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's going to be a problem like every game. Avenger comes down too hard.
Yeah.
It's the plant overrun, especially with Triumph of the Hordes, is really funny.
Yeah.
I'll let you take this one because I know you like this one a lot too.
Sure. This next one is Benny Brack's Zoologist, 3 and a white for a 3/2 legendary elf druid with Convoke. At the beginning of each end step, if you created a token this turn, draw a card.
That's really good.
Yes, I think this works pretty well with all the instant speed token stuff as well.
There's a lot of decks that are really, really good at making tokens on everyone's turn, like a Kraven Regna kind of thing.
Yeah.
So this card really, really can put in just a lot of work.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's solid white draw. Those aren't words you normally hear, but it's solid white draw.
Yeah, definitely.
I really, really like this next one too. I thought this was a really cool card when I saw it spoiled. Mm-hmm. I think it should have partner so I can play it with Tana the Bloodsower, but you be the judge. It's Kadira, Caller of the Small. 1 green, 1 white, so the exact same as your commander. Also a potential alternative if you wanted. It's a 3/3 Orc Ranger with Trample. I don't know why I slurred that so bad. But whenever Kadira, Caller of the Small deals combat damage to a player, for each token you control, you create a 1/1 white rabbit creature token. That hitting once could very well make the game something people can't come back from.
Yep, absolutely.
It's if that gets through in any way, shape, or form, that can take like a problem to a way, way, way bigger problem. Anything that's there's a reason that doubling season is so expensive. Anything that doubles your tokens is a problem. Now, sure, this doesn't make the exact copies, but if you have 10 plant tokens and then you get 10 rabbits, it's a problem. Kadira is a real issue.
They're all the...
so's the next card.
Why don't you take it?
Yeah, this deck is full of problems. I keep talking about how you don't want your commander to be a target for removal, but your creature section is much worse. It's much, much worse. Champion of Lampholt, 1 double green for a 1/1 human warrior. Creatures with power less than it can't attack or block. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, put a 1/1 counter on Champion of Lampholt. This is going to become your creatures are unblockable cards so fast.
Yep.
This is a has to die card in a deck like this.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's part of the reason I put in so much things you control being indestructible. And this is one of the targets for
the boots.
The boots.
Yeah. It's this becomes a problem very fast.
Yeah. The next up, we've got Circle of Dreams Druid. Triple green for a 2/1 elf druid. You can tap it to add green for each creature you control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the guy as great elf druid.
Yeah. I think it's a great card.
I do too. I think it's very, very nice. I hope that's another one that gets another reprint. I've thought that this was one of the better cards they've come out with recently.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see, I know that they have some of the expensive cards like Tabernacle as Mages of the Tabernacle, but it's not the same. 4 mana creature that I have to pay 1 for every turn isn't the same as a land, but a triple green where it gives me the Guy's Cradle, that seems a little more balanced.
Yeah, it seems fair.
Yeah, I like that. I also enjoy these artworks of the next one, the Critterhoof.
Yeah, I quite like that.
Yeah, Critterhoof Behemoth 5 triple green for a 5/5 beast with haste. When it enters, creatures you control get XX till end of turn, where X is the number of creatures you control, and they gain trample. Don't know why I forgot that part, but yeah. This was the, they did something with the kids' sketches, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, where the artists made the...
Yeah, it was...
The kids made a sketch, and then the artists sketched that version in real Magic cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a very cool looking card.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed all of these kid-drawn cards.
Yeah, I thought they were pretty... I thought it was a neat idea for sure, and a great charity.
Yeah, definitely.
One of the few secret layers I've enjoyed lately.
Fair, yeah.
Yeah. We also have Daru Warchief. I've got to take it because it's one of my favorite cards. I love Soldiers as a Tribe, and this is a staple for that.
Absolutely.
It's 2 double white for a 1/1 soldier. Soldier spells you play cost 1 less, and soldiers you control get 1 +1/+2. So it's not other soldiers. It itself is a soldier. So it always is actually going to be a 2/3.
Yeah.
I really, really like it.
Yeah, it's going to be a 2/3. It's going to make King Darien cost only 2 mana.
It's going to buff all of your soldiers.
Yeah.
The +2, so they've got that little bit of extra survivability. Great card. Next card, definitely. Not great card. Disgusting card. You take it.
Next card is an absolutely amazing card. It's Elish Norn Grand Cenobite. 5 double white for legendary creature Praetor. It's a 4/7. It's got vigilance. Other creatures you control get +2/+2. Creatures your opponents control get -2/-2. Love it.
It's something, I'll tell you that.
It's so good.
It is. The fact that you can also hit this with a hideaway is going to be a problem too.
Yeah.
The artwork for Elish Norn is so uniquely terrifying in comparison to all the other Praetors.
Yeah, it looks very... I find it looks very white well, obviously white and like pristine.
Right?
Like the other ones feel kind of, at least in a way, rugged, except for Elish Norn.
Yeah. Elish Norn looks like the like final boss in like a Silent Hill type movie.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like just all of it is Elish Norn's artwork is great, but terrifying card. And we've been getting more of the Praetors. We've had Vorinclex, Jin-Gitaxias, Sholdred, and what's the red one? I can't even think of.
Urabrask.
So we're just waiting for the other Elish Norn.
Yeah, I really hope they make when they do make the new Elish Norn, I hope they make her good.
Yep. Well, the other thing too is right now, a little bit of lore talk. We're gearing up with we're gearing up essentially for a war with Phyrexia, right? Mm-hmm. And what's on this new Phyrexia? On new Phyrexia is one of the most popular commanders that exist, which is Atraxa. And Atraxa was worked on by all of the Praetors but Urabrask. Mm-hmm. So there is a chance of a five color Atraxa coming because Urabrask does seem to be working with the other Praetors now, right? We saw Urabrask, I think it was on New Capenna.
I think so, yeah.
It might have been. But regardless, like the Praetors are seemingly together and stuff. But I think we've got another Elish Norn coming, which will be awesome. I loved the new Sholdred. I really, really liked it.
Mm-hmm. But
yeah, I don't even know what they would do for a new Elish Norn. Like they were all pretty different, but kind of not. Like Jin-Gitaxias, like the normal, gives you like the draw and makes everyone's hand size 0. And that wasn't really reflected in its new card at all. No idea. Right. And
what was.
Yeah, neither was the Shouldered kind of was, and the Vorinclex kind of was. They were similar themes. But
the Vorinclex, yeah.
I really wonder what the Elish Norn will be. I think it'll be another big control or stacks piece.
I really hope so.
Yeah, like a really fun one. I saw someone made a design for a card. Like I look at a lot of the custom Magic cards people design, and it's I think a similar effect would be interesting for Elish Norn. They had it as a 10 cost. I'll stop ranting in a minute. They had it as a 10 cost that its effect was creatures you control enter the battlefield under an opponent's control. Mm-hmm. Or they enter under an opponent chosen at random's control. And then at the end of that person's turn, exile and come back to your board if they hadn't entered from your hand.
Okay.
Yeah, it seemed pretty interesting the way that it was. I would like to see something similar to that with like an Elish Norn. I wouldn't like to see it, but it would be fun. I think that the new Elish Norn, if they butcher it, it'll be very disappointing.
Yeah, the new Elish Norn, it better be +4/+4 and -4/-4. That's what I want.
That would be gross. I think Elish Norn is the favorite Praetor of a lot of people.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, there's some pretty cool Instagram artwork of Elish Norn. But yeah, I'll be done ranting about that one. We also have Amara Tandris, 5 colorless, 1 green, 1 white for 5/7 elf shaman. Prevent all damage to be dealt to creature tokens you control. Yeah, it's got a place.
Yeah. Then we got Field Marshal, 1 double white for a 2/2 human soldier. Other soldiers you control get +1/+1 and have first strike.
I definitely like it.
Yeah.
I like the soldiers as a tribe for sure. Also, definitely the next card, great inclusion. Jaheira, Friend of the Forest. 2 a green for a human elf druid. It's 2/3 token creatures you control, or tokens you control, not creatures, tokens, have tapped to add a green.
Yeah. This next one is one of my favorites in this deck. It is Mirri Weatherlight Duelist, 1 green and a white for a 3/2 legendary creature cat warrior. It's got first strike, and whenever Mirri Weatherlight Duelist attacks, each opponent can't block with more than 1 creature this combat. And as long as Mirri Weatherlight Duelist is tapped, no more than 1 creature can attack you each combat.
Yeah, that's a problem. That's a big stacksy problem.
Yeah.
It's a very cool one.
I really like
it. It's a really good Hey Bear piece. You have next Queen Elenal of Rudok, a green double white for an elf noble star. Power and toughness are each equal to the number of creatures you control, and if 1 or more creature tokens would be created under control, those tokens plus a 1/1 white soldier creature token are created instead. Like I've said before, pseudo doubling season for anything making 1 like 1 token like your commander does.
Yeah.
So a really, really good include.
Yeah. Next up we got Reese the Redeemed. Hybrid Selesnya for a 1/1 legendary creature elf warrior. You can pay 2 in Hybrid Selesnya and tap to put a 1/1 green-white elf warrior creature token into play, or 4 double white or 4 double Hybrid Selesnya and tap. For each creature token you control, put a token into play that's a copy of that creature.
Yeah, another thing that just can't stay on the board.
Yeah.
Anything that doubles tokens can't stay on the board. I know the next card's blasphemy to say to Brian as well, but it also can't stay on the board. It's Seaborn Muse, 3 double green. It's a spirit 2/4. Untap all permanents you control during each other player's untap step. Again, with the ability to tap your tokens so many times in different cards for mana, that's a real big issue. Your lands untapping so you can dump them into your mana sink commander. That's a real issue. Like Seedborn is going to be super not okay to leave alone.
Yeah, true. Next up, we got Shalai, Voice of Plenty. 3 and a white for a 3/4 legendary creature angel with flying. You, planeswalkers you control, and other creatures you control have hexproof. And 4 double green. Put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control.
Yeah.
More counter goodness.
This was my commander before I changed it over to Silvala, the Explorer Returned.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's a really, really fun card. I like anything with a mana sink from the command zone. Like, that's why I like Darien so much.
Yeah.
But again, another very big problem. So you, planeswalkers you control, and other creatures have hexproof. Makes it so hard to remove annoying stuff.
Yeah.
So hard. And then it's already a 3/4 angel. Your commander already has give things indestructible. It's got like this huge ability to just power buff your creatures with a mana sink. Like if you've got a lot of mana available, it's a lot. I don't like that one hitting the field at all.
Yeah, that's fair.
This next card just totally wrecked Verdant Force.
Yeah.
It's just better. It's just better in every way. It's Tenor-Shoot Dryad.
Yeah.
It's less mana. It's just better. 4 and a green for a 2/2 Dryad. With Ascend, if you control 10 or more permanents, you get the City's Blessing for the rest of the game. 0 problem in a token deck.
No, you're not going to have a problem.
At the beginning of each upkeep, not your upkeep, each upkeep, you create a 1/1 green Saproling token. Yep. And then as long as you have the City's Blessing, they get 2/2. That's a problem.
Yeah.
Your commander's not soldier tokens, it's all tokens, right? It's not even all tokens, other creatures.
That's all other creatures.
Yeah. That's something that can't stay on the board either.
No.
Yeah.
Then we've got Valiant Veteran. 1 and a white for a 2/2 core soldier. Other soldiers you control get +1/+1. You can pay 3 double white, exile Valiant Veteran from your graveyard. Put a +1/+1 counter on each soldier you control.
Yeah. I like this. This is
really like
Dominaria?
Yes.
That's pretty cool. Let them show. We'll show them. Let them come. We'll show them our Argivian Steel is stronger than any Phyrexian metal. All right. Big, cool Warhammer on it. I like it. And then you can take this last one here, too.
Sure. This last one here is Voice of Resurgence. 3 and a white for a 2/2 elemental. Whenever an opponent casts a spell during your turn, or when Voice of Resurgence dies, put a 3 and white elemental creature token onto the battlefield with this creature's power and toughness are each equal to the number of creatures you control.
Yeah, if you've got a control meta, this is a really, really good way to keep them in check.
Yeah.
It's a really cool elemental in general. It's the artwork always looks so weird. You see so many things when you look at it.
That's true, yeah. I really, really like this artwork.
Yeah, I like this card a lot. It is, if you can protect it against a deck that is spell slinging, you can get really, really out of control fast with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And at 2 mana, you can't go wrong. No, I really, really like this deck. It's a really fun way. I would have gone a very, very different way building it, so I like seeing the like this way.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with the token theme recently in general. I think I was mentioning to you about that new blue-white commander that was coming out too.
Which one?
Was it Claire de Lune?
I don't even know what one that was from.
That's
the 40k decks?
No, that's what's it called? Unfinity.
Oh yes, the your tokens count as real cards.
Yeah,
I think that's a really, really cool one.
Yeah, but yeah, I've been having so much fun with tokens recently.
Tokens are one of my favorite themes. I like tokens. I like Landfall. I like ETB.
You're a simple man.
Simple man with a simple plan, and that plan is enter the battlefield.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like this deck a lot. I think it's really, really cool. I'm hoping we can see this on one of the streams we do.
Yeah. I'm open to.
Yeah, no, it's we just gotta. You weren't here for this one this weekend, but definitely we've got, like I said, a lot of guests that we'll have on for this. We'll probably do some like online community streams as well over Spell Table, but we've been having a lot of fun with these new cameras. So definitely go over to YouTube and check that stuff out. Let's end there. I really like it. Thank you guys so much for listening. As always, thank you for getting to the end of the episode. If you liked it, please rate us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. It does mean a lot. Thank you so much to everyone who has done that recently. It really does mean a lot as well. Let us know if there's stuff you want us to specifically play on these streams as well. I've got hundreds of decks, so it's kind of hard for me to get to everything. So if there's something you've seen that we've made before, I generally still have it in paper. I don't really take decks apart. So yeah, if there's things you want to see, let me know. If there's things of Slothy's decks you want to see, yeah, please let us know and come hang out with us for that. Check out the YouTube stuff. Thank you again. All of our content's always on into the99.com, so you can find it there. Everyone have a great week, and thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Yeah.